Let me start by asking you something. Have you ever found yourself constantly reaching out first? Always being the one to check in, to initiate, to keep the connection alive? And somewhere deep down you wonder, why does it feel like I care more? Why am I always running towards someone who seems perfectly fine standing still? If that sounds familiar, you're probably the divine feminine in a twin flame dynamic. And today, we're going to talk about something that a lot of people in this community are curious about, but don't always get straight answers on. How to shift the energy so that the divine masculine starts chasing you. Now, before we dive in, I want to be very clear about something. This is not about playing games. This is not about manipulation or making someone jealous or pretending you don't care when you do. That's not what twin flame work is about. And honestly, that stuff doesn't work anyway. What we're really talking about is an energetic shift. Twin flames operate on energy, what you carry inside you, how you feel about yourself, what you're putting out into the universe. The divine masculine is naturally drawn to a certain kind of energy. And right now, if you're in the chaser position, the energy you're running on is probably fear, anxiety, and a desperate need for things to move faster. That energy actually pushes the DM further away, even when you have the best intentions. So, what we're going to walk through today are 7 shifts, real, tangible things you can work on that change the dynamic. Not by changing him, but by changing you. And I know that's not always what people want to hear, but the truth is, the only person you have real power over in this journey is yourself. And when you do the work on yourself, the ripple effect on the connection is undeniable. Let's get into it. 1. Stop running the masculine energy yourself. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. A lot of divine feminines, especially the ones who are used to being independent and strong, unconsciously take on masculine energy in the connection. They initiate, they plan, they problem solve, they reach out, they do all the things that the divine masculine is supposed to naturally step into, and then they wonder why he's not stepping up. The thing is, energy hates a vacuum, but it also hates a crowd. When you're doing everything, there's no space for him to show up. You've already filled the role. Why would he chase when you're already doing the running? Pulling back from that masculine energy doesn't mean becoming passive or helpless. It means trusting that you don't have to do everything. It means sitting in your feminine energy, receiving, flowing, being present, instead of constantly pushing forward. For a lot of women, this feels uncomfortable at first because we've been conditioned to hustle for love. But the divine masculine is not attracted to someone chasing him. He's attracted to someone who knows their worth and doesn't need to. Start small. Stop sending that double text. Stop being the one to always suggest plans. Create space and see what fills it. 2. Heal your own wounds. First, this one is the real work, and no amount of strategy gets around it. The reason twin flames trigger each other so intensely is because they mirror each other's unhealed wounds. If the divine masculine is pulling away, it's worth asking yourself honestly, what wound does his behavior activate in me? Is it abandonment? Is it not feeling good enough? Is it a fear that love always eventually leaves? Because here's what happens. When you haven't healed those wounds, you operate from them. You make decisions from a place of fear. You interpret his silence as rejection when it might just be him processing. You spiral into anxiety, and that anxiety becomes the main thing driving your actions in the connection. When you heal those wounds, you stop reacting from fear. You become steadier. You stop needing constant reassurance because you've found that security inside yourself. And that groundedness is incredibly magnetic to the divine masculine. He doesn't want to be your emotional anchor, but he absolutely wants to be with someone who has done enough work on themselves that they're not drowning. The healing work looks different for everyone. Therapy, journaling, meditation, shadow work, energy healing. Find what opens you up and commit to it. Not for him, for you. 3. Build a life that genuinely excites you. This one is both deeply spiritual and completely practical. One of the fastest ways to shift the dynamic is to stop making the twin flame connection the center of your universe. Now that's easier said than done because the pull of a twin flame is unlike anything else. It can feel all-consuming. But when your entire emotional life is wrapped around one person, it puts an enormous amount of pressure on the connection. and on you. So the question to ask yourself is, what would your life look like if you stopped waiting? What would you do, explore, or build if you decided to fully show up for your own life right now? Because here's what happens energetically when you do that. You stop carrying that desperate waiting energy. You start radiating something completely different: fulfillment, purpose, joy. And the divine masculine notices. Not because you're doing it to get his attention, but because genuinely lit up people are magnetic. It's hard to look away from someone who is living fully. Pick up the thing you've been putting off. Travel if you've been wanting to. Take the class. Call your friends. Invest in your own happiness like it's a full-time job. Because honestly, in a twin flame journey, it kind of is. 4. Understand how the divine masculine process easy. There's a piece of this that requires some empathy, and I think it's important to include it because otherwise this whole conversation becomes one-sided. The divine masculine in a twin flame dynamic is not always pulling away because he doesn't care. A lot of the time, he's pulling away because he's overwhelmed by the intensity of what he feels. Twin flame love is not ordinary love. It hits differently. It bypasses all the walls people build around their hearts. And for a lot of divine masculines who have been conditioned to stay in control of their emotions, that level of feeling is terrifying. So they run. Not because they want to leave the connection, but because they don't yet know how to handle what it stirs up inside them. Understanding this doesn't mean excusing bad behavior or waiting around forever with no boundaries, but it does shift the way you hold the dynamic. Instead of taking his distance personally, you can start to see it for what it often is: his own fear, his own healing process, his own spiritual work that he needs to do. When you stop taking it personally, you stop reacting in ways that push him further. You stay in your own lane. You trust the process. And ironically, that calm trust is one of the most powerful things you can offer the connection. 5. Set boundaries. Real ones. This is where a lot of people struggle because in the twin flame community, there's sometimes this idea that you should just love unconditionally and accept whatever the DM gives you. And while unconditional love is real and beautiful, it doesn't mean having no boundaries. Boundaries are not about punishing someone or building walls. They're about knowing what you will and won't accept and communicating that clearly, first to yourself and then to others. And in a twin flame dynamic, healthy boundaries do something very specific. They signal self-respect. They show the divine masculine that you value yourself, and people tend to value what others value. When you have no boundaries, when you're available at all hours, when you accept crumbs and call it a meal, the dynamic goes off balance. The chasing energy intensifies on your end because you're operating from scarcity, from the fear that if you ask for too much, he'll leave. But here's the thing. Setting a boundary doesn't push your twin flame away. It may create temporary discomfort, but in the long run, it elevates the connection because it forces both of you to show up more honestly. Know what you need. Communicate it with calm clarity, not with ultimatums or emotion that's been bottled up too long. And then hold the line, not rigidly, but with quiet confidence. 6. Work on your own spiritual growth relentlessly. Twin flame journeys are fundamentally spiritual journeys. They're not primarily about romance. The romance is almost a side effect of two people growing into the highest versions of themselves. When you lose sight of that and start treating the connection as the goal rather than the growth, things get heavy fast. Your spiritual growth is your responsibility. No one can do it for you. Not your guides, not your higher self, and definitely not your twin flame. And when you take that seriously, when you actually commit to expanding your consciousness, healing your karma, and stepping into your purpose, something shifts. You stop feeling like you're waiting for something to happen. You start feeling like something is always happening, because it is. Your energy elevates, your frequency rises. And because twin flames are connected at the soul level, that elevation ripples through the entire connection. The divine masculine feels it when you grow. He may not be able to articulate it, he may not even consciously recognize it, but the pull he feels toward you intensifies. Because you are no longer the same person who was running after him. You've become something more, and that is deeply attractive. Meditate consistently. Study your spiritual tradition. Do the inner work that feels hard. Show up for your evolution the same way you've been showing up for this connection. 7. Trust the journey and mean it. This is the last point and probably the hardest one because it's not something you can fake. You can pretend to trust the process while internally being a mess of anxiety and impatience, but your energy will always tell the truth. And the divine masculine, who is energetically connected to you at a level most people can't fully comprehend, feels that energy. Real trust is not just saying the words, it's actually believing that this connection is guided, that the timing has wisdom even when it's frustrating, and that the universe is not working against you. It's believing that if this is truly a twin flame connection, it cannot be permanently separated, that the reunion happens when both people have done enough of their own work. When you carry that trust in your body, not just in your head, your whole energy changes. The desperation softens, the anxiety quiets, you become someone who is at peace with where they are, and that peace is magnetic in a way that nothing else really is. Trust also looks like releasing the need to control the timeline. It looks like letting go of the obsessive checking, social media, texts, signs, and instead redirecting that energy back to yourself. It looks like being genuinely okay today, not just pretending to be okay while waiting for tomorrow to bring him back. This is not about giving up on the connection. It's about giving yourself fully to your own life and trusting that the connection will find its natural place when the time is right. So let's bring this all together. Making the divine masculine the chaser is not a trick. It's not a strategy you deploy for a couple of weeks and then drop when it doesn't seem to be working. It's a genuine, sustained transformation of who you are and how you move through the world. When you stop running his energy, when you heal your wounds, when you build a life that genuinely lights you up, when you understand his process without losing yourself in it, when you set real boundaries, when you grow spiritually with intention, and when you trust the journey for real, you become someone worth chasing. Not because you've changed to fit someone else's standards, but because you've become the fullest, most grounded, most radiant version of yourself. And that version of you, that's who the divine masculine cannot stay away from. The work is yours. Do it for yourself first. The rest will follow.